Hello and welcome to this 60-minute Yin Yoga class. I hope you're able to use this practice as an opportunity to find a little bit of rest and restart as you move into your Monday or into the rest of your day. So a couple of things you might need today, a pillow or a yoga bolster, and a couple of yoga blocks, books, pots or board games, whatever can help you feel supported and feel grounded. So you don't need to have any specific yoga props, but just things that may feel comforting and nourishing to you as we move into this particular practice. With everything, I will remind you to invite yourself into being the authority in your own body. So as I am guiding through different shapes and through meditation, know that you can always and should always take what you need most, what is best going to serve you. Let that be your practice. Let that really begin to help you find uplifting and liberation as we move throughout our shapes. If you're new to the practice of Yin, we will often hold shapes anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes, maybe longer. And I will give you an indication of how long we'll be holding our shapes. We hold shapes in Yin to work into the deeper parts of the body, the deeper parts such as our fascia, connective tissue, our ligaments, and our joints. So using the time for the shapes as not, I have to be into what I consider the fullest expression of it, using that time to ease into the shape and meeting your body where it's at in the evening or where it's at in the practice. So don't feel rushed. Don't feel like you have to meet a particular standard, because there are no standards. And when it comes to this practice, it's really just about how you're able to meet yourself on your mat as you show up. So we're going to get settled in, and I invite you to take any comfortable position that feels good for you, whether that's on your back, on your belly, seated up against a wall, using your pillow or a blocks to sit up on, or in other ways of support. You might find it nourishing and restful to be in a child's pose. So please feel free to take those variations, excuse me, as you need. I'm going to start today's practice in a comfortable seat with my back up against the wall. But again, take another option that is best going to serve you and suit you the most. So as you get comfortable in this space, in your practice space, take a moment before you really truly settle into to turn off technological distractions. I know you're using a computer right now to view this practice, but maybe turn off your cell phone. Shut the door, maybe close the windows if that feels comfortable for you. Anything that you can do to just be able to give yourself a bit more space for what you need throughout your practice. And as you start to find your way into your space, option here to keep your eyes open and focus on a soft point in front of you, or maybe above, or even below. We're closing the eyes. Again, whichever feels most comfortable is going to feel best in your body tonight. And as you settle in, I invite you to take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, open mouth, sigh it out, let it go. Full breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it go. One final time here, deep breath in. And exhale out. Welcoming in your breath this moment, as you orient yourself in space and time, the space being here and the time being now. And we take time to honor the stewards of the land who've come before us, reminding ourselves that we are guests on this land. Here in Washington, D.C., I am on Anacostan and Picastaway land. In the yoga practice which we're about to embark on, the asana practice, came to us from ancient India about 5,000 years ago. And so we honor and acknowledge the indigenous teachers from the subcontinent of India, who not only were the first and early practitioners to codify and unify the practice of yoga in many different lineages, but we also honor the different and variety of teachers, the indigenous teachers who come from the subcontinent of yoga or who have roots there, who continue to bring us this practice. And we're reminded that our yoga practice is more than just the shapes that we make in our body. Yoga is something that we can bring into our everyday life, and how we treat ourselves, how we treat each other, and how we view the world. So we honor and thank the indigenous teachers, the first and early practitioners, and our teachers today for continuing to use yoga as a way of liberation and freedom. So as you start to welcome in your breath in this moment, observing the natural flow and rhythm of your breath, doing our best to not control or change the breath. Where does your breath start and stop in your body? How does your breath move? What qualities are traveling on the breath? What emotions are accompanying the breath today? Where might you feel your emotions or even your thoughts in your body physically? So taking time here for this observation of non-judgment, and even naming the particular spots that can be holding on or can be bound. Naming the spots that are a little bit more open, a little bit flowing. Allowing yourself to stay just with your natural rhythm of your breath if you'd like. Or moving along with me as we visualize and direct the breath to different parts of our body to see if we can open up, expand the breath just a little bit more. So as you continue to breathe, I invite you to start to visualize your breath coming from the earth. And you may start first by doing that, by noticing your connection with the earth. So your sit bones, your back, your hands, your feet, your head, whatever's touching the earth, touching a wall, even touching a prop. Feel the connection with the earth. Feel as if you're rooted and supported And then from here, moving the breath from the earth, traveling all the way up the body, through the crown of the head, almost into the air above you. And then as you exhale, feeling your breath travel from the crown of your head back down to the earth. So visualizing the breath moving from earth to sky and from sky to earth, opening up top and bottom. And then as you're ready, begin to move your breath up to your heart space. As you breathe in, feeling your heart expand, feeling the front side of your body and even the back side of your body expand and move away from each other. And then as you exhale, feeling yourself move back towards your midline. So moving the breath forward and back, and then coming back to center. What do you notice about your breath, about your physicality, your emotions, the thoughts you're carrying with you, as you begin to lead your breath from a heart space to heart-centered way? And then as you're ready, begin to feel your breath expand out to your sides. So filling up your ribs so they move apart and away, even feeling your breath expand to your fingertips, maybe all the way to your toes, so out to your widest and biggest expression of yourself. And then feeling as that beautiful expression of who you are comes back and feels centered once again in your heart. So again, feeling your breath move from side to side out. You can even begin to visualize your arms moving out to the sides, or move your arms out to the sides to create your expansion of breath. And then as you exhale, feeling everything draw back in, but not become small. Just become centered. Combining with our root breath and our heart breath. Continuing here. Finishing out wherever you're at and letting your breath return to its natural rhythm. Noticing the sensations in your body. Feeling yourself rooted to the earth. Feeling the sky above you. And noticing your place in your space. As you're ready, gently blinking open your eyes. And we'll move into our very first shape of the practice. We'll start by taking straddle pose. So as you bring your legs out nice and long, open your legs up to a V as wide as you'd like to go. Couple of notes here. You will be likely feel a pull along the inside of your knee or your meniscus. As long as there's no reason, advice from a doctor, or just pain or anything like that, then that little bit of pull should be fine. However, if it's really, really uncomfortable and it just takes you out of the shape, or you have been advised by a doctor to watch your knees, consider bending your knees. This can be a great place for your blocks here to place underneath your knees. You can, even if you've got a couple of towels, you can roll up towels and place them underneath your knees as well, just to lower them down a bit. Noticing your hips. If you find you have a more forward tilt in your hips, I would recommend sitting up on a block or a blanket, towel, or even your pillow. It could just feel really nice too to have the extra support on your seat. So making that adjustment. As we move forward in the shape, the goal is not to force ourselves into a stretch. We're working to ease into the shapes over time, really letting gravity do the work and listening to the body to invite us in deeper, invite us to stay where we're at, or more importantly, invite us to come out of it if we need to. So starting just to make your way folded forward, finding where it feels best for you to stop, where you do feel a stretch. Likely you'll feel a stretch on the inside of the legs, but depending on how tight you are in daily pattern, you may also begin to feel a stretch more in the hamstrings. And that's perfectly fine. There is no right way to feel the stretch as long as you're not feeling pain. You can use your pillow here, depending on how far down you want to go. If you've got a pillow, it might tumble a little bit, but that's all right. Placing your head on your pillow or bringing it down. You can even stack your blocks under your pillow for additional height. And we'll settle in here. Head can go from side to side if you prefer. Or you can bring your forehead, chin straight down. We'll be here for about 4 minutes. And as you slowly settle into your 4 minutes, I invite you to come back to your breath. So in this shape and in shapes moving forward, notice how you can feel supported and rooted into the ground beneath you. How can you feel nourished by the air above? And in this shape in particular, how can we expand our breath out to our toes? So starting to feel your breath move in all directions. And as you continue to hold the shape, you may notice that the body wants movement. I know in the beginning I said we're working towards stillness, but that doesn't mean that the body isn't like, we need to move. So first understand why the body is asking for movement. And if movement is called, it could be just a little bit of an adjustment, it could be something bigger. Do so mindfully. Again, listen to what your needs are in the moment. Trying to understand on a deeper level as to why something might be needed, why it can benefit you, how it can benefit you. And some days stillness is going to be so much easier than other days. And so try not to fight against what you're feeling. Notice it, go with it, do what's going to make you feel the most nourished. As you're ready, softly begin to come out of your shape. Take your time. Notice if the body wants movement or if it's inviting in stillness. If it's asking for movement, if your body's asking for movement, take your movement. You can windshield wiper the feet. Maybe a down dog would feel good, or coming into tabletop. Many options available, and one is not right, one is not wrong, one is not better than the other. If your body is looking for stillness, come into your puddle pose, which is where we'll all eventually meet. And puddle pose is a place of rest, a place where we can embrace stillness in a different way. So on your back, on your belly, again, child's pose is an option. Could be seated, could be legs up the wall, could even be on your side. And that can change from shape to shape. And as we think about using this particular practice as a way to reset and recharge, we can use our puddle pose as that igniter for that reset and recharge. So as we come out of the shapes, finding stillness here, letting energy that has been released from our fascia, that has been unblocked from our energy channels, reintegrate into the body. But also embracing stillness, seeing if we can invite a bit more in. Closing the eyes here is an option. It's always an option to find a soft point for your gaze as well. As you're ready, begin to find your way on up, taking your time as you do so. We'll move into our next shape here, coming into a deer pose. And we'll take deer pose 2 ways this evening, with variations if deer pose doesn't feel good in the body, with a couple different variations. We'll first start by opening up the front side of the body. In our last shape, we were folding forward, thinking of our back and the back side of our body as a protector of the front side. And we want to take a moment, or I would invite you to take a moment, to think about opening up your heart space. Do be very mindful as we move into this particular shape, as depending on what emotions you're carrying with you today, it might not feel the greatest to be as open as the shape can sometimes get to be. So our emotions do play a big part in how our body is ready to open up and how our breath moves. And so I would welcome you to approach the shape with care and compassion and love for yourself, and really truly meeting yourself where you're at. So as we come into deer, a couple of things for setup. You can use a ramp setup. So 1 block for head, 1 block for in between your shoulder blades. And if you're using kitchen pots, then a taller pot and then maybe a couple of lower ones too to create that ramp. Same thing with books, board games, anything else that you're using. If you find that those items are just too rough or just too pointy or anything like that, a couple of extra pillows stacked could work as well, and may actually feel really nice and soft underneath your heart space. So placing your blocks at whatever level would feel good. And also take your pillow or yoga bolster and place that overneath your ramp. Now again, your ramp is totally optional. Other options for just the upper body can include just using your blocks for your hands, your forearms, or moving all the way down into the earth. One option is not better than the other. They're just different variations, again, to help you meet yourself where you're at. So listen to what is going to feel best for you and do that. For our feet, and I'll show this pointed forward, we'll start with our left leg behind us. So you'll notice that the top of my foot is on the ground. That is one option. Other option is to extend the toes out to the side to more of a 90-degree angle. And that's just all based on the range of motion in your ankle and what's going to feel best. If top of ankle is on the earth, a towel or a blanket may feel nice underneath the foot just to support your joint. And then my right foot is coming into my left thigh. Does not have to be super glued to your left thigh. There can be space here as well. Being very, very mindful of your knee. If you find there's a lot of pain in your left knee as you move into this, please do come out of it. And I have an option that I will show you just momentarily that can be taken on your belly for this version of deer. So as you bring your lower back to your setup or not setup, begin to move back and going to that place where you feel sensation in the hip flexor and quad of your left leg. So staying here, again, being very mindful of your knee. If this is just too much on the knees, knee surgery is expensive. It's not worth it. Okay, you can still get all of the great benefits of this shape by coming onto your belly, and we will have another opportunity for another heart opener at the end. So don't worry so much about that. And this can also be great too if you're feeling just like you need a little bit more protection for your heart. Coming onto your belly, reaching your left foot up. Here, a blanket, towel, or even strap or belt can be used as an extension of your arm. Reaching for your arm and then lowering down, feeling as if the stretch along the front side of the leg. Something that may help is using your knee, you lift it up a little bit to change the stretch. If you're using a strap or a towel there, try not to hold on for dear life. Find a place of a bit more rest and relaxation. In the strap, again, it's an extension. It's not there to force your body into something that isn't going to feel good. And we'll be for 4 minutes here. Again, as you settle in, noticing your connection with the earth, power blocks, power pillow. Feel as if the energy circuit is moving through all of the items that are supporting you. Even as you place your hands on the earth or on your feet, you may notice the energy circuit being closed, so your energy is just moving in your body. Coming back to your breath. And from here, as you're ready on your next exhale, begin to make your way back up. So if you're in deer pose, keeping your legs right where they're at, maybe reaching for your pillow, and then folding forward. Blocks can always come underneath your pillow, or if you've got the pillow, shorten it. If you're on your belly, meeting us in the shape with your legs like this, if it feels good, we're coming into a reclined figure 4. So if you're coming into deer pose, go ahead and I'll meet you there in a minute. If you're coming into figure 4, just rolling onto your back, placing your right ankle over left thigh, and then you can bring your left foot inside to feel the stretch in the outside of the hip. So Same thing that we're doing in deer, just on your back. As you're ready, slowly begin to rise on up. Gently moving any props off to the side. And swing your legs around. Pedal out your feet. Pedal out your legs. If it calls to you, windshield wiper your feet. We're going to move on to the other side. So this time our right foot will be behind us. Left leg is going to be on the inside. Repositioning our pillow if you'd like. Or coming back onto your belly if you were taking the other variation. As feels good for you, go ahead and start to lean on back or draw your leg up if you're on the opposite side. From here, as you're ready, slowly making your way onto your back or rising up, coming into our forward folded deer or figure four on the other side. From here, as you're ready, slowly, gently making your way on up. Just moving props off to your side, straightening out legs. Moving your legs back and forth, side to side. And then finding your way into your pebble pose on your back, on your belly, child's pose, legs up the wall. Any other option that I have not named that's going to feel comforting to you. It's going to allow you to find your maximum stillness for this moment. Notice what is touching the earth, how you can feel connected and rooted here. And then as you're ready, I invite you to roll onto your belly. Our final shape is going to be our open wing variation. So as you're on your belly, expand your arms out to a T. Bring your right hand underneath your left shoulder and then roll on to your left side. Your legs can be stacked. Legs can be bent. You can straighten out your bottom leg and bring your top knee bent inward or outside the leg. You could even come into a butterfly variation. From here, just turn around. From here, your other arm can stay bent, it can go loose, or it can even come behind you or on top. Notice too how your neck feels in this shape. If it feels too much in a diagonal, consider a block or a pillow underneath your head so that your neck can be in line with the rest of your spine. So taking what variation calls to you, we'll be here for 3 minutes. As you're ready, slowly finding your way back through center. Taking any movements you need in your left arm before expanding your arms out to a T once again to roll onto your right side, our final side here. Noticing any differences between the two sides. You can always roll forward or in just a little bit more to take some of the pressure off your shoulder. You can always place a blanket or towel as well underneath it if the joint is starting to feel really uncomfortable. From here, slowly unwind. Take any final movements that you need before coming into Shavasana, final resting pose. Remember, Shavasana can be on back, belly. It can be in child's pose, it can be legs up against the wall, or even on your side. Take what is going to feel most nourishing and best for you. Using your pillow or your bolster maybe underneath your head or underneath your knees. If you're on your back, you can even place a block or your bolster pillow on top of you for a little bit of extra weight. Again, whatever's going to serve you best. Let this be a true place of rest and letting go. As you're ready, beginning to reawaken your senses, inviting gentle movement back into your body. As you slowly take your time to transition, keep your eyes closed. Begin to gently blink them open, taking in the space around you. As you come to your comfortable seat, feeling your connection with the earth once again, hands can remain on your knees. You can even bring your fingers down to the ground to close off our energetic circuit here. And pausing once again, noticing the free flow movement of your breath. And then as you're ready, feeling your breath travel from your root to the earth, the crown of the head to the sky. As it comes back down, feeling your breath expand through your heart and your back, moving towards your midline. And then on your next inhale, breath expands side to side, ribs move. Feeling as if you could almost burst out of yourself, out of your seams. And as your breath moves back toward your heart space, not feeling small. As you bring your hands to your heart center, bow your heads in a moment of gratitude, thanking yourself for making time for your mat, and silently thanking those who joined you tonight to create this virtual community. Thank you all so much for practicing with me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, your evening, and whatever comes your way moving forward. Be the positive change you wish to see in the world. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace, peace, peace. Thank you all so much. Have a good one.